Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Knapik. Every week we talk about success and everything that goes along with it. You'll learn the principles of success, how to achieve success, and learn to overcome challenges that may be getting in the way of success in your life. You'll hear from Bill Knapik, a radio personality and business development expert, along with insight from special guests. If you're ready to find your path to success or take the success you're enjoying to the next level, stay tuned. Successful Living with Bill Knapik is on right now.
And welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill Knapik. That's me, and today, Successful Living with the one and only Tiffany Pham. Tiffany is the founder and CEO of Mogul, and of course the website is onmogul.com, a platform for women all over the world. She is the author. Her latest book is called Girl Mogul. Remembered her on our show with the book called You Are Mogul not that long ago. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Bill. I'm so delighted to be back.
I am so always excited to talk with you. And as far as ambition, accomplishments, you have just done so much in a short period of time. So, first of all, you have a new book called Girl Mogul. Let's talk a little bit about that and all the other things.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited for Girl Mogul. We've been working on it for several years now, and it's about my entire life and career, boiling it down to the major lessons I learned and the mistakes I made, so that Generation Z now can now become moguls at their earliest stages of their life and careers. So I'm so excited for them to read this all and be able to apply it to themselves right away, all the lessons and mistakes I made, so that they too can become moguls today.
And also, even though the title, I got the book a few days ago, and the book is called Girl Mogul, we would think that, okay, yes, it's aimed at girls, women. However, I will tell you, in the few chapters that I've read, even in your other book, you have success principles and things that people, men, women, anybody, if they practice those things, those are just great things for all of us to exceed and to accomplish our goals.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. You know, at the end of the day, we're just trying to boil it down to the exact fundamentals, to the exact strategies, the tactics to enable you to become your best self, super successful in your career and life. And ultimately, yes, that's applicable to all. And that's our goal and vision, ultimately, with Mogul. We're working through our softwares and our resources and our tools that we provide to ultimately enable women worldwide to achieve their goals and realize their full potential. But our full vision is to enable all of society in this way to achieve its full potential. So at the end of the day, everything that we do is for ultimately the world, for everyone in it.
And of course, when we think of the world, your platform onmogul.com certainly serves the world, and people contribute to that all the time. And I think the figure that I hear is per week there are, 18 million people visiting the platform?
We certainly have a really wide reach, and now actually reach well close to over 30 million women around the world in different countries across 30,000 different cities. So it's grown quite a bit since we first started, definitely, and we're really proud of that global reach.
And that is so fascinating, and those numbers I'm sure jumped because I signed up and I've registered too, so you had one more in the last couple of months. I don't know if you noticed, but...
I did see that. I was going to actually write you a note that I saw you. And what's really exciting, though, is that it's not just our web and mobile web presence that our users can be a part of. At our core is actually an app that is currently used by so many of our super users, but that will actually become publicly available in a soft launch. So something that I shouldn't probably share in such a public radio show, but in a soft launch will actually be available starting April 1st, the Mogul app, to now be enabling you to reach your goals, realize your full potential, and that will be globally rolled out starting May 1st across a huge public launch. And that is actually our core of our organization, is the app. And then, of course, we have our web, mobile web. We have our social channels and email channels to which we reach another couple of million women and men worldwide. And then we also have, of course, our books, Girl Mogul, Your Mogul, and our events, Mogul X included, which is our annual conference and now the third largest women's conference in the U.S., in fact. So this is our whole user ecosystem.
I want to also point out when we think about success, you are doing and have done so many things, so many accomplishments. I want to make the point that whatever is done with any of us, it started with an idea, right? Each and everything in your life, the books, it started with an idea, the platform. Let's tell people a little bit about the power of having an idea. And yes, we have to have the idea, but we have to act upon it. And that's actually in the title of your book, where you say, dream it, do it, and then change the world. Because we can dream all kinds of things and have ideas, but if we don't do it and execute it, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. My whole life, I always enjoyed thinking about things and dreaming, but my differentiator was always about doing and taking action. And thus, it's now a core principle of Mogul. We have several core principles, and the most important one within the organization is Moguls take action. And so we believe that throughout our whole entire philosophy that we espouse across our users, that, it's important to take action. It's important to not just talk and think, but it's important to do, to rapidly prototype and iterate towards perfection over time. Don't worry about making it so perfect at the beginning that you never get started, because I know that that's a lot of why people think and dream, but then don't get started because they think it has to be perfect and huge at the beginning. But for me, I always loved just thinking about the idea, but then rapidly writing down about it or starting to mock it up or just put it out there, the little ways in which to make it form into not just an idea, but to make it a reality, whether that was contacting partners for it or collaborators for it or press members, et cetera, forming the idea into a reality by putting the word out there, mocking it up, writing it down, everything possible to make it something that I could hold, I could look at, and then from there, forcing it now to become what it was meant to be through sheer work and hard work and collaboration on it.
We are talking with Tiffany Pham, the CEO and founder of Mogul, and her latest book is called Girl Mogul, and I'm going to say it again, dream it, do it, and change the world. Tiffany, we talk about ideas. I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, but you're doing so many things, you're launching so many things, and of course we'll talk about all the speaking engagements that you do as well, one coming up right here in Houston, Texas. But I'm going to guess that you probably have some other ideas that you haven't even acted upon. I'm just guessing.
Well, you're right about that. We are launching a lot this year. We have, as mentioned, Girl Mogul coming out next month, next week, in fact, just a couple of more days on April 2nd. And then we have our app globally rolling out on May 1st, as mentioned. And then our annual conference, Mogul X, which I also mentioned, is actually happening on September 21st, International Peace Day in New York. And so you'll definitely have to come out for that. We'd be so excited to have you. And so we have all these various initiatives, all of which add, again, value back to our users. We're all about ensuring that we have happy users and happy partners and happy team members. So at the end of the day, everything leads back towards that as we work towards our products. And ultimately, we're focused. As much as it seems like there's different launches happening, it all leads back towards that one OKR that we have to create a brand and local organization that leads back to, again, happy users, happy partners, happy employees, team members. And so for that reason, it all leads towards that singular focus and keeps us really passionate and motivated every single day.
And as I mentioned, you will be here in Houston. I'm going to tell people right now they can see you. The conference is called No Limits, April 18th. It's an all-day event. You are one of the keynote speakers, and it's put on by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce right here in Houston, a tremendous event right in downtown Houston. Once again, people can just Google No Limits, and it's April 18th. That's a Thursday. You can see and hear Tiffany Pham and so many other great things. So let's tell people, if they're listening and perhaps they want to have you as a keynote speaker or talk to their company or something like that, that's another part of your life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. I do love connecting with our partners and their respective team members and employees and ultimately our Mogul members of our community. I love connecting with everyone in person, and it's always a very special moment when I get to and speak with them after the engagement and ultimately hear about all the impact that we've had on their lives and the ways in which we can continue to support them. So it's really an amazing aspect of what I can do as the CEO of Mogul. And I think in the past year alone, I spoke over 200 times, and it was each time such an incredible experience and day. And this year, I think if they're interested in getting in contact with us, please do feel free to do so. You can contact us at press@onmogul.com, and ultimately our team members will collaborate and get you into our community and partnership.
In addition, on your website, they can see your complete schedule of where you will be. So that's also tremendous, because people sometimes hear this show outside of Houston once it's on the internet and YouTube and Facebook and all those things. So many people listen, not just right here in Houston. In both books, we're talking with Tiffany Pham, the author of Girl Mogul. Her book is out right now. But in this book, Tiffany, and of course, You Are a Mogul, your previous book, which really isn't that old. That seemed like that just came out. I find it interesting and inspiring that you mention your grandmother as being such an influence on you. Tell us a little bit about that. And I guess we all have grandpas and grandmas, but I never really had a connection with mine. So tell me why she was such an influence, and tell everybody, please.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much for bringing her up. I mean, everything that we do was inspired by her initially, because she was such a special woman of her time, a maverick of her time. She ran businesses, newspapers, ultimately providing others in need throughout Asia with information, with opportunities, and was just so warm and giving and beloved by her community that she was an amazing example to me of what a woman could be. Such an incredible leader and businesswoman, and yet at the same time so beloved for her generosity and kindness and authenticity. She was one of the first women to drive a car in Vietnam. Really, really amazing mogul herself. And so I grew up initially in Paris, France, before I myself moved to Texas for high school one day, as my parents hoped that bringing me to America might lead to more opportunities one day, because I was a minority otherwise in France. And yet, when I was there, continued to want to be like my grandmother in Texas, continued to want it to be like her in every single way. And when I was 14 years old, she, my biggest role model in life, passed away. And that was the most horrific day of my life, and yet it was the day that I made a promise to her that I would do everything I could to follow in her footsteps. And I would dedicate my life towards providing others in need with information and opportunities just like her. No matter how hard or challenging, no matter how little sleep I would get, I would spend every waking moment working towards this goal and mission too. I promised her. So ever since then, that's all I've ever worked towards.
And what was her name, Tiffany?
I got her Banoi. That's in Vietnamese. We don't call our relatives by name, but in fact by Vietnamese grandmother, grandfather, etc.
Well, we'll dedicate this show to her memory and to her incredible life. And by the way, people can see you at, first of all, the book is so great, the content, but the design of the book, the pictures, the layout, it's like a workbook in a way. But I think one of the highlights is on page 2, where they get to see a picture of you at age 6. And what a great haircut that is.
Thank you. Yes, a bob haircut. I was well known for it.
Well, I think it looks great.
It's a really special book. And what I love about it, too, is that I'm sharing, of course, my own story and lessons and mistakes that I've made. And as Bill, you said, it's so applicable no matter what age you are. Truly, I feel like so many people have come up to me and said, no matter what age they were, this was such an interesting book for them. This was so helpful. I know it's gotten such incredible reviews from so many different publications, so that's been really exciting to see. But alongside my own story and lessons and mistakes, my wonderful dear friends also do so as well. And so you'll see stories from Ariana Huffington and Susie Orman, Nastya Lukin, gold Olympic medalists, who also share their own stories and their own mistakes and lessons, and they're super powerful. So really excited that they'll get the chance to impact millions of lives in this way too.
Well, certainly the success principles that you have employed in your life are in this book, and of course also your previous book, You Are a Mogul. But this book is interesting, and I want to tell people it's laid out in parts. And the first thing that's so important for all of us at any age, and especially for youngsters. And if we have grandchildren, older people listening to this can pick up the book. This would be great for grandchildren, for teens, everybody. But the way it's laid out, the first part is about confidence, an essential element in life. The part 2 is community. Commitment is the third part. And then one of the most important things, like we talked about, we have dreams and ideas, but we have to take action steps.
Absolutely. I love being able to boil it down to these 3 main themes, because I think they're the main themes that you need to hold on to in order to become a mogul. You need to believe in yourself, have that confidence, do so by believing in yourself and standing up and ultimately realizing that you are capable of the impossible and ultimately feeling good and versus looking good. You need to learn how to develop the kind of mentality and mindset that can enable you for success by scheduling your way towards success and less stress. I think that's one of my favorite titles in the whole entire book, How to Schedule Your Way to Success and Less Stress, which is a really essential part of becoming a mogul. And then you need to learn how to fail forward. And then the next part is about community and finding your people, how to build that community around you initially, rising up to reach out to your mentors and giving. And sometimes along the way, you may meet the bullies and the haters, but you have to learn how to rise above it. And then you need to ultimately rise above to now be collaborating with your incredible mentors and your community that you've built all around you. So I describe all the sorts of ways in which to make that happen, how to reach out to those people, how to ultimately make those collaborations happen, how to ensure that now, by the end of it, you're working with the biggest role models in your life, getting responses from them 100% of the time, and getting the most incredible life-changing opportunities. I describe every step of the way how to do that. And then finally, commitment, how to discover your passions and ultimately crush it at work, over-deliver on everything you do, even if it's the most mundane task. Just always put so much passion into it that it always over-delivers. And then finally, how to start to then become financially wealthy and investing and ultimately standing up for what you've all accomplished. So it's, an amazing journey to read through this book and know that by the end of it, you'll become a mogul.
And that's a very important point about over-delivering and doing the best we can at whatever we do. One part you're talking about getting 93s in a given subject. I forget what it was. It might have been math. But you were getting 93s, and you're saying, well, why don't I just shoot for 100, right? And we could all take that concept and say, we're doing this, and maybe we're doing well, but we can do a little bit better. Very, very inspiring.
Thank you. That's one of the stories in my life that I think about all of the time, and that honestly inspires and motivates me every single day. Because it's true that I used to be okay with just performing well, like performing average, getting a 93 on a math homework or a math test because I studied a little bit, and I was pretty good with getting that A-. But if you're going to do something, why not become the best that you can be at it? Not better than others, but the best that you can be. Why not put in your energy? If you're going to put any energy into it, why just put in 93% energy? Why not put in your 100% energy so that it could become the best that it could be? So when I realized that in math class, thanks to my friend Diane, because I sat behind her and I saw how every single time I would grade her paper, she would get 100. I saw that it was possible, that anytime I would do something, that I could get 100 too, that I could make it so that with any energy I would put in, it could become the best that it could be. And thanks to Diane's example, then I could become that example too. And so I encourage everyone listening today that if you do anything, over-deliver on it. Be the best that you can be, yourself at it. And the most incredible things can happen.
We are talking with Tiffany Pham, the author of the latest book called Girl Mogul. I'm going to say it once again. Dream it, make sure you do it, and change the world. Tiffany, with the last few minutes, what else would you like people to know?
I hope that they read through the book and they see all of my mistakes and they realize that you can start out with nothing in life. If you aren't born into a wealthy family or you haven't been handed some things along the way throughout your life, that you can still make the most impossible things happen. You can still achieve all of your goals and dreams by putting things into action, your ideas, making it happen. And I'm really excited for them to read this book because I think it will really motivate, but not only motivate and inspire, but actually tell you how to do it. So I'm really excited for them all to know that no matter where they are in life, no matter where they sit in the world, that these things can happen for you too.
And Tiffany, let's tell people all the websites and ways they could follow your schedule and get on Mogul.com. All those coordinates, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me or Mogul across all of our social channels, Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to LinkedIn, by either searching Tiffany Pham or my username at TiffTPham, TiffTPham, or else Mogul's tags, which are at ONMOGUL, at OnMogul. Of course, you can also find us on Mogul itself. If you go to onmogul.com, that's our mobile web platform, and then through that, you'll be registered in our email base, and then we'll be able to receive our ongoing daily newsletter. And then beyond that, most importantly, be sure to download our app starting April 1st for the soft launch or global rollout starting May 1st. The app actually takes our core concepts from the book and really enables you to take them into action. For example, one of the core features of the app is scheduling. It enables you to write down all of your to-dos and all of your goals and break them down and timeline them into your daily schedule so that then your to-do list is not just any regular old to-do list. Now it's timelined and including both, again, your daily to-dos and your longer-term, mid-term goals into it so that it becomes all achievable every single day. And that is actually one of the things you'll learn about in the book, is how to schedule your goals and your to-dos in a way whereby you accomplish them every single day in the most optimal ways. And the app actually enables you to now automatically do this instead of doing the manual way. And I'm super excited for everyone to be able to now become moguls through our app in this way. And alongside this core feature is, of course, our community is always encouraging, providing ongoing real-time mentorship all around the world, speaking with women, men all around the world to enable you to become that mogul with that support. And then, of course, we'll have ongoing resources throughout the app that enables everyone to have the continued opportunity to expand in their career growth and educational growth as well. So really excited about the app in this way, too.
I'm very excited, too, and I know the listeners are. Our guest is Tiffany Pham, author of Girl Mogul, CEO of Mogul. And I want to remind you once again, you could meet and see Tiffany right here in Houston, Texas, April 18th on Thursday, an all-day event. It's called No Limits, put on by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. Tiffany, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much, Bill. It was so much fun as always. You're amazing, and it was such an honor to be back on the show.
You are inspiring, and I enjoy the motivation that you provide. And until next week, you've been listening to Successful Living with Bill Knapik, and today, Tiffany Pham, CEO of Mogul and author of Girl Mogul. Go get the book. It is a beautiful book. In addition to having tremendous content, you will enjoy it. And once again, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.